Other than jumping down to the sewer to fix some problems, what does a Danish electrician do on a Monday morning? Well, let's see. The first customer had some power issues. They had a few sheds and none of the sheds had any power. The problem is even the customer didn't know where the circuit breakers was located at. So the first thing I had to do was to find that. I saw this meter box. I saw a little bit of spiderweb. Is that a little bit of cotton candy I see? Sadly not. But here we had the circuit breakers. They were not too hidden away after all. Straight away you could see the RCD had tripped, so I just turned off both the breakers. I turned on the RCD once again and I turned the breakers back on again and the issues were not there. Alright, this is a little bit strange, so I picked up my tester, but before that I could see that we had 3 active phases, but when I took my little measuring stick, whatever you call it, I could see we were missing 2 phases down the circuit breakers. So I thought, you know what, let me just double check, and yep, we had 2 popped fuses, so, well, what can we do other than just replace those popped fuses to 2 brand new ones, and the power was quickly restored once again. Wow, look at that, we have the sensor, and we have light, lovely. But my issue is, what had caused all of this to happen? Well, that's what I'm trying to find out right now, so I take out my tester here. I could see here the grounding connection was not made up to code, at least not in the code of this area. This is illegal and needs to be fixed and changed to another grounding system. But with that, it was time to measure on the first circuit breaker. We got a very nice number right here. It's not too high, but it's alright, I guess. So I'm just moving over and testing the second circuit breaker. We also got an okay result right there, so I thought maybe the RCD is a little bit trigger happy, but nope, it was also okay. With that, I could let the customer know that I actually hadn't found any issues, but at least they have power restored once again. What you With a good mood in the car, it was time for customer number 2, who had a pump running 24/7 down in this sewer right here. And yeah, it's not supposed to do that. Yeah, I can see why the customer complained. That was very loud, but I didn't want to jump down there, so I just took a little trick here to pull up this blue things down here. Now these 2 blue balls here are what turns on and off the pump. But at this stage it became quite clear that I needed to jump down there because there were some issues. But before that, I just wanted to make sure everything was working. These blue balls here is what turns on and on the pump. When there's water, they go upside down, the pump turns on. When the water's gone, they go down again, and the pump turns off again. Quite simple system, and it worked very nicely, so it was time for the electrician to jump down into the sewer, because, yep, there was some issues down there we needed to fix. You see, the reason the pump was running 24/7 was because this thing here that holds the 2 balls had loosened up and fallen a little bit down, so I simply just pulled it up and re-tightened everything. Now, what this will do is the pump will no longer turn on until there's enough water for the pump to turn on. Now, luckily, I didn't have to jump down and touch the water and drink the water, but, yeah, I never liked going down there. But I was good mood in the car again. Now the final customer had recently got 8 new heat pumps, and I was to give them some power because, well, they need power to run. So last time I was here, I was putting up these safety switches right here. Now these safety switches have a simple purpose. Whenever there's a guy coming over to check to make sure everything is working, he needs to be able to turn off the safety switch locally to the heat pump. That way we avoid people wasting time looking for the circuit breakers somewhere random. But yeah, I had this conduit here that was a little bit too short, so I simply cut it, and then you need to grind the insides and the outsides to make sure the cables running in and out won't get cut on the sides. Finally, I sprayed a little bit so it wouldn't rust because, yeah, we don't like conduits rusting, and I just dried it a little bit with my hands, and then it was time to play around with my fingers under a staircase. Yeah, I needed to pull some wires under here, and yeah, it was a little bit hard to reach, but luckily, what you can't do with your head, you must do with your fingers. And yeah, everything was pretty much out of level, but I knew why. Someone had forgotten to take their leveling medicine, so yeah, that's probably why. And finally, I made sure that I was able to pull some wires out, because that's what I'll do tomorrow, because we need some power out to these safety switches. Now I've just made all of the other installation, but yeah, I also got some very funny shadows up here at this little attic. But with that, I just want to say thank you all for watching. That's some wild hair. Can you just please fix that? Thank you very much. And some final music.